Thanks for tuning in to Retiring Well. We're going to be sharing with you how wealthy investors use Roth IRA's gray area. What exactly does that mean? Along with teaching children about money. That will be entertaining, so you have to tune in for that. And are you too old to benefit from a Roth IRA? I don't believe so, but you know, it's something you'll want to be paying attention to, along with how to semi-retire. All this and so much more coming up right here on Retiring Well.
Retiring Well, brought to you by Centennial Wealth Advisory, financial advisors specializing in retirement planning and serving all of northern Michigan. Retiring Well, helping you plan for a successful and comfortable retirement. Retiring Well, plan to retire well.
If you've tuned into Retiring Well before, you've probably heard us talk a lot about Roth IRAs, and I think it's just a topic ultimately that maybe isn't had in conversation often enough when there's financial advisors. Sometimes they may not have the appropriate licensing to talk through tax planning, and accountants may be looking solely at how do I keep taxes to a minimum for you this year and aren't looking at the long-term impact. And as we all know, the U.S. tax code is quite lengthy, and so there's different tax-free options that are worth talking about. So Joe, maybe dive in a little bit of Roth IRAs and we'll go from there.
Sure. Roth IRA is a great tax planning strategy or tool. There's a number of different ways we can get money into a Roth IRA, but in their basic form, what we're trying to do is hedge what's going to happen with tax rates going in the future. And really, again, taking control of taxes today. What a Roth IRA allows us to do is put after-tax dollars in a position where they're now going to grow tax-free. They're going to come out tax-free, they're going to pass on to heirs tax-free, and they're also not going to be subject to those required minimum distributions. Like everything in life, there's pros and cons. That's all the pros that come along with the Roth IRA. The cons, though, is there are some limitations in who can contribute to these accounts and how we can get money into this position. So commonly, what we have to think about is for retirees, you have to have earned income to be able to do direct contributions. And then for some of our younger clients still in that accumulation phase, there are phase-out ranges. These phase-out ranges are going to be based on your income and your tax filing status. So you do want to work with your tax professional, figure out, what is the best way to get money in here, and even if I'm allowed, how do I get money into this position?
Yeah, so true. And so in 2024, for a single taxpayer, it's $144,000. For married filing jointly, $214,000. So if you're earning more than that, that's where it comes to this sort of gray area when it comes to Roth IRAs and contributions. It's called like a backdoor Roth IRA. And there's essentially this loophole that's in the tax code that allows you to use after-tax funds where you deposit those into a traditional IRA, so you do not get a tax deduction for that, but then you turn around and convert that traditional IRA to Roth IRA. And the contribution is ultimately reported on Form 8606, and so this is a process that you can go about. It gets a little messy if you were to have an existing traditional IRA, so it's, I'd say, best utilized if you don't have an existing traditional IRA that you're contributing into, and again, it's a complicated process.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts there. Again, you want to work with somebody that's either a tax professional, financial professional, be able to figure out those moving parts. But what John's referring to is doing this Roth conversion is there's really no limitation on how much you can go and convert. So if you wanted to go and convert $1 million of your IRA, go for it. Now, likely going to come with a pretty hefty tax bill, so you want to be careful there. But again, you're trying to move money into that position where it's going to grow tax-free. You also want to be mindful of where you're falling in those tax brackets. As an example, if you're married filing a joint household, you have about $70,000 of taxable income. Key here is taxable income, not gross income. So take your gross income minus any adjustments and your deductions. That's going to get you to your taxable income. So if you're right in that middle range of about $70,000, you technically could go put about $24,000 more onto your tax return and still stay in that same tax bracket. So you're not going up any more brackets, and you're able to move money now into a position where instead of being tax deferred and taxable, it's going to be tax-free.
Yeah, and so Roth conversions can be a useful tool to get that money over into Roth IRA. coming back to this backdoor Roth IRA, be extra cautious if you have a combination of pre-tax and after-tax dollars within your IRA. There's a pro rata rule that the IRS follows. I'll say your accountant, you're going to make them do a whole lot of extra work to try and figure that out. They may not be your best friend after all that, but it is complex, and so you want to most definitely be very cautious if you're going about that. The IRS ultimately looks at the total of your different IRA accounts in aggregate, and so this type of planning tool might be better utilized if you haven't yet started a traditional IRA and you're at that higher income. So if you find yourself in a situation where, hey, this backdoor Roth IRA, what exactly is that? I'm in a higher income bracket, but I've never heard of it. You most definitely want to sit down, have a conversation. That's where we welcome you to give us a call here at Centennial Wealth Advisory. We'd be happy to help share more information with you, see specifically with your situation if that's appropriate.
Make the most of Social Security. Although Social Security isn't designed to cover all of your income needs, it's an important part of the retirement puzzle. Download our free booklet on the Social Security decisions at cen-wealth.com and learn how to optimize Social Security for your situation, why timing is so important when it comes to your benefits, ways to supplement your Social Security, and more. There is no cost and no obligation. Simply go to cen-wealth.com, scroll down, and click the download link to get your free booklet on the Social Security decisions.
So Art Canfield and I grew up in Traverse City here together, about a mile down the road from each other.
John and I have been best buddies since we were in kindergarten.
Met each other in kindergarten at Glen Loomis Elementary.
I still remember one of the earliest memories of John and I connecting way back in our kindergarten class.
We always would have sort of a business mindset when we were trading our basketball cards and football cards of, okay, what's the value of this versus that?
We had all these dreams of playing in the NFL together.
He was the center on the football team. I was the quarterback.
I've been protecting him my whole life, and so now we get to do it in the business world.
With a low bass, here for the thrill, I don't need a chaser. Wanna vibe to get away. Shimmy, shimmy, yeah,
each of us stood up in each other's weddings, and now we've enjoyed seeing our families grow together and spend time together.
Working with John and Art is awesome. The camaraderie that they have, the banter that you hear on a day-to-day basis is it's so much fun.
They're very authentic. These people are in it for the right reasons, and they're really genuinely doing what they can to help people. That, to me, makes all the difference, that I can feel good about the work that I do working with them.
Who they are as people, their values, they truly want to help people. That kind of permeates through the whole culture of our office.
Being so similar but different in certain ways is such an asset, not only for our team, but also for our clients, to be able to have, I think, our experience in valuing relationships so importantly.
Something that's so vital within business is having that trusting relationship. As Art and I have had that trust built over the past 35 plus years now, so we have that confidence knowing that if I'm not there to make a decision, you've got a business partner that you trust implicitly to make those decisions and not question at all what direction that he's going with it or the business is going. So it's just been sort of a dream to be able to work alongside your best friend.
It's your retirement. How will you live it? How will you be remembered?
Will you be able to take me on vacation?
Will you be there for my ball games?
Will you teach me your values? You'll be able to play with me.
Oh, help me go to college. How will I remember you?
Have the retirement you dream about. Contact us today.
Welcome to Kids Corner here in Retiring Well. I'm blessed to be joined today with my beautiful daughter, Faith. She's one of our 5 beautiful children that we have in our family. We're here today to talk about 4 tips for teaching kids about money. So as children grow in age, there's different appropriate times to start teaching them about different things. It's really important for kids to have a base understanding about finances, about saving, and just the general value of a dollar. It goes a long way to helping them build confidence with their finances so they don't just get thrown out at some point on the streets, if you will, and be left to fend for themselves and worry about money. So Faith. So stuff that we've worked on over the years and we've talked about with various times. And so let's talk about maybe 4 great tips today that we can have people to start teaching maybe children or grandchildren about money. What would be first one we can talk about?
Use a piggy bank.
Yeah, so the value of saving money. You know, that sort of thing. So one suggestion I have here is a piggy bank is a great example. It's simple, the concept is, and you drop coins or dollars or whatever it means there. Maybe you got gifts from grandparents or something like that. Money you've earned can go in there. One little tip I have with that is use a clear piggy bank. The reason this is it's rewarding to be able to see your money pile up, if you will. If you have a maybe more of an old-fashioned piggy bank or something, a savings that they can't see, it's kind of out of sight, out of mind. I see this even in retirees. If they can't see what they have, if they're not getting a statement all the time, it becomes out of mind, and this starts all the way at youth. So tip 1, use a clear piggy bank to kind of instill that value of savings and be rewarding. So Faith, after somebody starts to build a savings account, what is something else that kids and parents can do together to help teach about money?
Set examples.
Thank you. Good. That's exactly right. So as adults, one thing that we can do to help children is give them experiences and set examples. So oftentimes when Faith and I are at stores or the other, your siblings as well, we talk about what stuff costs, just having conversations about that. So again, understanding, just setting those good examples. You don't want to have a situation where you're maybe complaining about money or fighting about money with maybe other siblings or spouses, stuff like that. Don't leave finances in a bad taste, especially for young children. Give positive examples and talk about it openly. Now, you don't have to share all your deep, dark financial secrets with them, but just have open conversations. So Faith, tip number 3, what is something that you can do to help people out?
Show stuff that costs money.
Yeah, so like teaching somebody the value of the dollar, right? So what Faith says is show stuff that costs. You start to talk about what the cost of stuff is. Something as simple as our family occasionally likes to go out to eat. With 5 children, we don't do it very often because it tends to be more chaos than enjoyment. But when we go out to eat, we'll sit down and look at the menu together. Having a conversation about what that menu item is, adding in maybe a drink or something like that, talking about tipping and kind of how that total cost is, talking about the benefits that we get together of going out to eat, but then also what that cost would be like if we stay at home and what that difference is. It's really important to start establishing this so that people understand, or children start to understand, that stuff isn't free and what that value of the dollar is. And so Faith, what is the final thing we can talk about here to leave people with a tip?
Avoid impulse buying.
One of the hardest things for you, right, Faith? And for all of us, right? When you're walking through the store, and especially when your children are with you, we don't want them to believe that just anything is on the table, that everything is free and we can just throw anything in the cart. Don't have Amazon boxes piled up on the front doorstep every day. Try to avoid those impulse buys, especially in front of children, and so you can start teaching them that budgeting and planning for this is important. So again, hopefully some of these 4 tips that Faith and I have shared with you today go a long way in helping teach your children or grandchildren about money and starting instilling that confidence they have so they can develop a good, strong financial future going forward.
Living life isn't always easy. It puts up challenges and obstacles you'll have to overcome. There are responsibilities. You put in effort to provide and take care of your family, and to save and invest, to balance work and life. Planning is the first step to succeeding. Plan to retire well.
Your grandchildren are precious to you. They are your life. This is your time to have that special relationship. Taking care of yourself is taking care of them. Centennial Wealth Advisory is offering a free, no-obligation retirement review to make sure you don't run out of money during your retirement. Centennial Wealth Advisory. Your best is yet to come.
If you like watching Retiring Well, make sure to go to youtube.com/retiringwell and click the subscribe button to never miss any of our TV shows and other informative videos.
Are you too old to benefit from a Roth IRA? No. In fact, I'd say an absolutely not, okay? But first, before we get into that, let's talk about some rules on that Roth IRA, and then we'll talk about why you're never too old to benefit from that. First off, the rules, there's contribution limits, okay? So for 2024, the max that you can contribute to a Roth IRA is $7,000 if you're under the age of 50, and $8,000 if you're over the age of 50, okay? So you can't contribute more than that. And there's also some income limitations that go along with that. So if you are a single filer and you show more than $161,000 of income, you cannot make a contribution to a Roth. And then if you're a married couple, you cannot make a contribution if your income is over $240,000 for 2024. Also, the big rule to remember here with a Roth account is that you can only make contributions to a Roth account if you have earned income. And you're probably thinking, well, Nick, I'm retired. Am I really too old to benefit from the Roth? I can't even contribute to it, right? Well, yeah, you can't contribute to it, but you can still fund this Roth account, okay? The way to do that is through Roth conversions, okay? I'm assuming most of us have some sort of pre-tax retirement account, whether it's a 403B, a 401k, or the IRA, for an example. So to fund that Roth IRA without having earned income, you simply take the money from the pre-tax traditional IRA account, pay the tax on it now, and get it into that Roth account. It's called a Roth conversion, okay? Now you want to make sure you're meeting with your advisor, your tax planning advisor, to make sure that you're not taking out too much in one year. You want to spread it out so you don't pay too much in taxes. But that is a great way to get that Roth account funded. Even if you're later in life, retired, you don't have that earned income, you can still open up that account. But now, why would you want to do that, right? When you're older, retired, and you don't have any income? Well, there's a bunch of different reasons why, okay? The first one is the tax-free growth, okay? You know, I'm assuming you're not going to spend all of your retirement portfolio in the first year of retirement, right? You're planning for 10, 15, 20 years of retirement. Okay, so the portion that you're not going to touch for 20 years, why not get that in a Roth account now, where tax rates are at now, because tax rates are probably going to go higher in the future, right? So get Uncle Sam out of your pocket by doing those Roth conversions, because the money grows tax-free. And then number two, you don't have any required minimum distributions. So, you know, the traditional IRAs that you might have right now, they're going to force you. Uncle Sam says, hey, we want some tax revenue, right? So they're going to force you to start taking money out at age 73 and up to age 75, depending on your birth year. With a Roth IRA, you don't have to worry about that. You can hold that money for as long as you want. They don't force you to take it out. Another great benefit of the Roth IRA is the tax diversification for income in retirement. What does that mean, right? Well, it just gives you some flexibility to be able to pull income from different tax wrappered accounts. So instead of just having the traditional IRA where all of that is taxable when you take the money out, if you have a Roth IRA as well, you can control your tax situation a little bit. Okay, you can pull from the pre-tax account, pay the tax, but maybe you don't want all of your Social Security to become taxable, but you still need some income, so you can pull from the Roth, so it doesn't count as income and it's not taxable. And then finally, the estate planning benefits of a Roth account are just awesome. Okay, I have so many clients where they're doing Roth conversions purely because they want to leave a tax-free legacy to their heirs. So what they're doing, they're maximizing whatever current tax bracket they're in, they're paying the tax on it now, and they know, hey, when I pass away, the funds are going to go to my beneficiaries and they don't have to worry about taxes. Now, when the heirs do inherit the IRA, there are certain rules where they do have to deplete the Roth account at that point, but it's a non-taxable event. So there you have it. Are you too old to benefit from a Roth account? Absolutely not. If you have questions on how Roth accounts work or you want to set one up yourself, please don't hesitate to give us a call on the number on the screen. And you can find out more information online. Go to youtube.com/retiringwell and follow us. Click like, share us, and subscribe.
Remember when life was simpler? When things didn't move quite so fast, and the world didn't seem so complex? Remember that? We do. And as the world around us has continued to speed up, becoming more complicated, and still a bit uncertain, we have managed to keep things simple, providing sound, easy-to-understand financial advice and customized roadmaps for the road ahead, from tax reduction strategies, investment advice, and guaranteed retirement income you cannot outlive, backed by the claims-paying ability of insurance companies. We can be your single point of contact, a single call, a voice you recognize well, and a partner who can be by your side for the entire journey. We can't stop the world around us, but we can help ensure you're prepared for what's to come. To schedule a no-obligation meeting, simply contact us today.
Make the most of Social Security. Although Social Security isn't designed to cover all of your income needs, it's an important part of the retirement puzzle. Download our free booklet on the Social Security decisions at cen-wealth.com and learn how to optimize Social Security for your situation, why timing is so important when it comes to your benefits, ways to supplement your Social Security, and more. There is no cost and no obligation. Simply go to cen-wealth.com, scroll down, and click the download link to get your free booklet on the Social Security decisions.
Hey, welcome to this segment on 6 tips to successfully semi-retire. Hey, you might be sitting there feeling tired. You might be feeling stressed. You might be sick and tired of feeling tired and stressed. If that's you, maybe it's time to evaluate what your physical health is, what your mental health is, your spiritual health, maybe your financial health. Semi-retiring might give you that time to get the things that you care about most back in good order. So let's go through some tips that might be helpful as you evaluate if semi-retiring is in your future. The first thing is we need to make a plan. I love the quote from Benjamin Franklin. He said, if you fail to plan, then you are planning to fail. So as you're in your working years preparing for potential semi-retirement, I would ask a lot of questions. Can I afford to semi-retire? How long do I plan on semi-retiring? What does that look like? What is my budget gonna look like? What do I wanna do with those extra time? How can I reduce my stress, reduce my hours, and still feel like I'm producing, an entire career's worth of work and appreciating what you've learned. The next thing is to maybe reduce your financial footprint. This might be downsizing from a bigger house to a smaller house, or going to a condo. Or I love when retirees come in and they've been able to work off all those little debts and maybe even being debt-free with their house. And they were able to practice going into retirement by saving into their retirement plans and reducing their debt. That means the cash flow that they have coming to them is smaller, and then they get used to what a smaller income would look like potentially in that semi-retirement years. The next thing is understanding your healthcare costs. According to Fidelity Investments in Retirees' Healthcare Cost Estimate, if you are 65 and retiring in the year 2023, you on average will spend over $157,000 for the rest of your life in healthcare costs. There's a misconception that just when you get to Medicare age that your healthcare is 100% free, and it's not, unfortunately. You could be on the hook for dental, vision, maybe there's long-term care costs that are going to be in your future. So, preparing for that and understanding what that cost would be. If you are retiring before 65, understanding that if you're losing your employer-sponsored healthcare plan, there are options out there, but there's going to be some different costs. And so just calculating that can give you some more sense of security as you make that decision. The next thing is maybe consider a bridge job. This is something I highly encourage anybody that has spent a lifetime figuring stuff out through their work. I heard it once that experience does not make you wiser, evaluated experience makes you wiser. And when I sit across the table from people that are close to retirement, the amount of wisdom that I get to steal from them is phenomenal. And what I see is that they've gathered a lot of evaluated experience. They have wisdom now. And where I think that is really helpful is a bridge job. Maybe they're going to go back and be a consultant. They're going to take everything that they've learned and pass it on to somebody else. They're going to control their hours. They're going to control who their boss is. There's a lot of perks to that, and I've seen a lot of people be very successful at that. The next thing that we want to talk about is factoring taxes. Okay, when are you retiring? How old are you when you start that semi-retirement? Are you under 59 and a half? Are you older than 59 and a half? Those age are important to understand. Maybe you're under 55 or older than 55. That plays in when it comes to the type of retirement account that you might be pulling. Because at the end of the day, you want to try to avoid your 10% early withdrawal penalty. Okay, and so there are some different ages that you want to be aware of. So maybe you go into this consulting gig and you now are on a 1099 income. Well, now we have to talk about quarterly estimated taxes and understand how that job is going to fit into your overall long-term tax plan. And then finally, I would suggest just be flexible. Semi-retirement might be a nebulous time for you where you just get to sit at a different pace and you get to evaluate the things in your life that you care about most and have the time and energy to get them in good order. Semi-retirement isn't always about working less, it's about working differently. And so I would challenge you to map out what a semi-retirement might look like and take that extra time and margin in your life to say, here's what I need to accomplish in order to make my life and the time that I have in it look different. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that was valuable.